we are going to go ahead and do. Hi, everyone.
When did they add that?
I know, new feature. Hi, everyone. I'm Heather Datillo with Boulder Insight, and this is our Tableau live session for June of 2021. We're thrilled to have you all here with us. And today I have my colleagues with me, Chris Cox and Kev Swearingen, that are here. And we have some new friends that have joined us that have questions for Tableau Live, and some dear friends that we've been friends with for the past. So this is our way of giving back to the Tableau community and making sure that if you have pressing Tableau questions, we're answering them for you as best we can. We used to call this session Stump the Chump, right here to other side. Chris is the chump, and you're going to try to stump him today with your questions. We also have some great things that we do as consultants that we also like to share with you that have massively improved and accelerated our ability to work with clients so effectively and to create best-in-class dashboards. So we'll have some things that we can show you as well. So again, if you have questions, the best way to ask them is to put them in the chat. I've also am putting in a form for you as well. That's in the chat. I don't know if you can see it if you joined after I put it in. So I'm going to put that in now and make sure that even after these sessions are done, you always have the ability to reach out to us for support. We always say the best way to learn Tableau is to play with it. And the best way to play is with friends. And so I always say we're your TFFs, your Tableau friends forever, so you can reach out to us to support you in any way. So I know for sure that my buddy Clay, I've got my camera the opposite direction. I can't get my points going. There you go. Where are you? Over here. So Clay is here from the Arvada, calling in from Colorado. And I know, Clay, that you had put in a question through the questions form prior to this, and that you had a question you wanted answered about mapping. Do you want to ask that question yourself, or do you want me to read it off from the Slack channel?
I think, let me ask it real quick. I'll share kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe you guys can give me some ideas. I'm kind of running into no help on Tableau Learn right now. So let's share this guy. There we go. Let's go to this guy here. No big deal. I'm going to be publishing a bunch of these maps for my clients. Couple of things that they've asked for is like this. The scale. There's better scales and there's better positions for it. Is that something that I can change? I haven't found it anywhere in the map section. Is that something you guys have come up with?
Well, so you're saying there's a better way to, you were asking a better way to do it, or you're stating there's a better way to do it? I'm afraid I haven't really use that feature too much. Like, yeah,
there's like the black white. If it's a 2 mile, let me zoom out once. So if it's a 2
Chris,
mile,
have you used that? Yeah.
Yeah. So typically, if it's 2 mile, you'll have like a white bar and a black bar showing 2, or a white bar, that kind of thing. I don't know if this is something that Tableau does. I know like Esri Maps will do it, or other mapping software do it, but I prefer to use this because it's where I'm doing my analytics.
Yeah. Is this just a basic map out of Tableau, or using the whole map box?
No, this is just basic. This is a layer of their zones that they have.
Yeah.
And then I put on the census data.
Yeah. I think the thing I would try is, Tableau has an integration to Mapbox. There's a lot of other options you can get from using that. We haven't done a lot of that. I mean, to be honest, I think you have a really specific use case, but 99% of the people that ask us for maps, they ask for them because they're pretty, but they're really hard to really use for like analysis. I think yours makes sense. I mean, looks like you're showing kind of hot spots here. And I think those would be grouped. But then the first question I would have is, okay, what's on the top 10? Well, you can't do that from a map. You got to do that from like a bar chart. So I would always pair it with a bar chart. That would give you that. As far as the scale, and I don't think you're kind of limited because those things are built into that open maps thing, yeah, have that with it for sure.
Yeah, it's so you thinking maybe go that map box route, see if
Yeah,
they've got different maps to
maybe.
use.
And
Okay.
is that important, like to know the scale of how many miles it is? I mean,
No, at this point, so I'm the new clients that we're working with are interested in reports and pretty. So we have kind of a standard way of showing stuff. Like in this particular case, this isn't one of the clients we're working with, but if they've got a station right there, they want to see how far away these outlying calls are from the station.
well,
kind of thing.
so actually, here's something you can do. What version are you in? Desktop.
I've got 2021 or 2021.1 if we need.
So
but
let me
I
show
think
you
this is-
something new.
Okay.
Actually, keep on sharing your screen.
Oh, all right.
I'm gonna have you do it to make sure
Okay.
it's true. This is something that we just actually learned earlier today. So if you can go into that map sheet. So now, you know how you'd copy latitude if you want another layer. So go ahead and grab your, maybe it's not geo. Yeah, it should be. No. So in your data set, you're not letting actually Tableau generate the latitude and longitude. You have those in your data set.
It's in the data set, correct?
Okay. Do you have the latitude and longitude of the stations?
Not in this data set, but I could get them.
So what you can do here, let me share my screen because maybe I can just show it to you quickly. But one of the things you can do, which I think would be cool to this one, is add a little station on top, right? So this doesn't really answer your question per se, but let's just say we build a quick map. So we'll do, opened up the wrong, let's do state, right? And we have those. But what you can do now is if you have a separate, so let's say I had latitude and longitude for all of my stations. Well, when you come in here, you got this new thing that comes up that says add a marks layer. So now I could say, instead of before we used to have to do a dual axis and layer those, but you could have your bottom layer be your heat map that you've got now. And then your top layer could be the latitude and longitude of just those stations. Does that make sense? So now I've got, like, yours would look like this. Let's just throw a background color on it. I want that one. Gotta search for it. So I can throw that. So now those are layered, and I could do more than one. I could say, well, which actually states are these, and I could say states are something different. I can make I'm going to do a shape, and maybe I want those to be well, let's do a shape. Let's do a shape and make it a house or something. So like in your situation,
Sure.
You may want to have those. So those would be your like fire stations, right? But I added that as a separate layer. That's actually tied to your geo.
So that's how I did this one. I did the geo with the geometry of those zones came in. I just made that as a layer. So I'm very comfortable with putting the stations in there. But you did bring up another question. In these layers, you've got like state at the bottom, postal code, and state 2 at the top. Mm-hmm. Is there an order of operation with that? Does state 2, I guess?
Yeah, I'm assuming you put what's on top, so you could drag these around. So how that one goes below now. So now postal code is below. You still see it, but you can't click those. So you probably can only click your topmost layer. So see, I can't click well, these are the same things. Maybe you can on that one, but if I drag postal code to the top, I probably can't click. Oh, I can click it. Maybe because it's open, so something's not covering it, right? So it looks like it's kind of a transparent, as long as they're there. So I can click on that, I can click on the state, or I can click on the postal code. But if I put postal code on the bottom, since this state, I dragged it off. If I put postal code on the bottom, so why is it going away?
The state buries it as the layer.
Yeah, so it's there, but I can't click on those anymore because the state is technically covering those.
Yeah.
As a cover.
So your order of operations does matter depending on what's the biggest. So if you have a state cover, you can't click on it. But as long as they're all open, so you put your smallest level of detail on top is the short of it.
Perfect. Okay, that's great. I think
So
that answers.
to answer your question about the scale, sorry about that.
No, I think the map box things makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I think that's your best option. We've played with those some, but for the most part, we try to steer away from maps if we can, and just make them look like they fit in. Not as many layers and that kind of stuff. It's kind of hard to do the analysis that way. So, but I totally get it. Clients do ask for it a ton. They love them. So.
And your line of work, Clay, too, and with fire protection work, I could see the maps being really important when you're looking at those too. So there are ways to do radiuses if you're looking at mile radius and things rather than legend. It just depends on how zoomed in you are in the map in order to get those radiuses to work as well. And so those map layers, if that's what you're trying to see is the radius from one to another, you know, I'm happy to show that as well.
Yeah, how would you do a radius as a layer?
Yeah, so it wouldn't be a layer per se, but let me open up a new workbook and oops, hang on.
You can always tell me to be quiet if I'm taking all the
No, that's great. And we do have a question, Chris. While I'm pulling this up, you can take a look. We have a question around dates. Dates in Tableau are super powerful, and we appreciate all the options that we have to be able to do dates in Tableau. And yet they're also can be a little bit tricky as well too, in order to get them. And I know people are probably not seeing. I'm just trying to get to my Tableau on my desktop to open something. Let me do it this way. Sorry for the recording, Chris, Timo, this is not good. I'm just going to open up a mapping workbook here. Oh, great. No starter workbook. That's even better. Okay. All right. Should have had this on my other screen. So if we want to get to look at radiuses and things, it just has to be zoomed in at a certain place. So let me share this on my screen. Okay. So depending on, you know, if you're looking at a map and you want to be zooming in on this as well, we can use this tool where you can start zooming into items. And so as you start zooming in further, you'll be able to start to see, if I go to map layers that are here, you'll notice that I can now, you know, allow for area codes and labels and things that I can uncheck depending on how zoomed in I am in a view. But if I'm out here, you'll notice those items don't show up until I have the ability to see those. So that's one piece, is that you can control what is in the layers based on how zoomed in you are. And as you zoom out, those layers will go away, but they'll appear. So that was one thing that I was thinking might be of interest. You know, so the more I zoom in, the clearer I am to it, the easier that I can get to be able to, you know, choose what shows up in the background layers or not. So I can start to add more borders and things that are there. But as I then zoom out, those layers don't show up as well too. So that was where I was thinking on that one. And I know that I've been able to do some radial things. Let me zoom in before. It's been a while since oh gosh, that's not helpful. Let me get zoomed in here and see if I choose this circle. I believe you can start to, yeah, no, I'm not, I think I need to be zoomed in even further. But the radius starts to show up when you get zoomed in a little more with the circle option. Yeah, I'm not seeing it either. I'll try to play with that. But there is times that when I get zoomed in enough, I can start to get some radiuses. But let me look into that, Clay, and get back to you with some of it. But just knowing when you have your map and map layers open, you get to some more options as to what you want to show when you're zoomed in and zoomed out of it. I think that can sometimes be helpful as well. So I will stop sharing my screen. All right, so you're welcome. So Pauline has a question, and Pauline is also in Colorado. She's in Boulder now. Pauline, do you want to come off mute, or do you want me to read that question for you? I'm happy to do it either way. All right, I'm going to read it. I wanted to see if you could go over dates and how to show an exact date versus year, quarter, month, day, two, can you go over calculated field using join data? The calculated field would be ROR, so the allocation budget amount coming from data set 1 and the actual coming from stat set 2. So she had created a max fiscal week number, then did a 52 max fiscal week number, and then calculated that said actual budget divided by that field calc. So I think the first question, Chris, is just going over dates and how to show an exact date versus the year, quarter, month. So I think that could be a good one for us to focus on. Dates are always one of those areas where people that are just a little bit tricky in Tableau.
Yeah. Can you do that first part? And I'm working on the join part. I got to make up a data set real quick.
Oh, just to show the exact date? Sure.
Yeah. If you don't mind doing that.
Yeah, no, not at all. Oh, this is not a good data set. So let me get into some sample superstore data. So when you pull in a date, we can bring in our date here. And let's say that we want to look at dates by our segment. For instance, let's just take a look at segments and we want to see dates. You do have that option to go to more and you can go into a certain date that we have in here that maybe we want to look at that, but then you can actually make it an exact date and make that discrete. So when you see that, you'll start to see exact dates going across. I don't even know that we need the segment, but that would start to give you some exact dates that you can start to show. So again, it's going in, you go to exact date. If it's listed as continuous, you'll get the bar, so you won't be able to see that information. So then you just go and make it discrete, and that will list each of those exact dates, and then whatever information that you want to show in with those dates, that will allow you to see those with it. And you can then narrow it if you'd like with a filter to only see certain ones. So we could do, perhaps we do an order date and we do a range of dates. So we could have a filter showing and then show that filter. This would allow our end users to only see certain dates for, whatever date range they want. Or I could even click into the calendar. If I zoom in on that, you can see that I could choose a calendar and range it. Let's say that we only want to look at 2021 from the last quarter, let's say from September to December. That would pull in those exact dates for that as well.
I'd also say, well,
Go ahead, Kev.
this view is really helpful to go ahead and put your calculation next to it. If you're writing like a date diff or something like that, this is a great view to validate your formulas against. And we use it all the time. It just really helps because you can just see everything clear as day right next to each other. So
yeah, that's a great point, Kev. And we'll actually even get down to 1 day of data, so we may say, you could even choose without being able to do it. We can say, oh, let's only look at this day and keep only that. And then we would start looking at our calculations and making sure which clients have come in. So using this as a quality assurance sheet can be really helpful as well.
That's the other thing when you're dealing with large data sets and you don't want to watch it recalculate every time, just selecting a couple to write your calcs against is a huge time saver. So if you've got reload issues or refresh issues.
Chris, do you want to walk through your piece?
So I'm just mocking up a quick data set. I'll show you what I'm doing. So in order to answer your question about the join, let me share my screen. Just show you what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm just still using Superstore. So actually, let me start over and I'll just show you how I kind of thought it through. So if I have a sales is my order date. So let's just do sales by order date, right? And I'm gonna do them this way. So just like Heather showed, we can do exact date and get the list of those dates out of there, right? So that's going to give us all these things. But what you're going to do is you're going to want to sum it up by week. So what I would do, and it's what I try to figure out really quick, is I want to group these by week. So I could just change this to a week, right? or week number, and that's going to do the same thing for me. Discrete. So those are my sums per week. So that's my sales. So if I had a data set that gave me that day, right? So if I have that, so that's what I was working on. So it starts with January 5th, let's say. So I just was creating this really quick. Let me try to drag this over somehow. Come on. There we go. So I just created a quick data set that had the weekend dates, and I'm doing like a ran between 5,000 and 12,000. So we have different budgets, right? So I'll just run these for the entire year. So that will just give me random budgets. So now I'm just going to save that as your budget spreadsheet. We'll just throw it in downloads for now. Budget. And so then if I go back to here and I edit this data source, which doesn't look like it knows where it is. So luckily I do. Data source, we'll just use that one. Okay. All right, and I want to add in this next one. So I chose Excel. It's in my downloads folder. And modified today, there's budget. Okay, so if I'm going to join this in, I probably want to name it a little bit better. I can do it as a relationship if I want, and just pick order date versus order date. And so now those are going to pull in. So now I have a budget column. Okay, so I go back to my sheet here. And so these are my sales per week. And then I would have my budget will now come in as a different field. I'll just bring it on. Oh, didn't like my dates. All right. Okay, hang on. So that didn't work because of just the formatting of the date. So they're coming in different ways. So I should be able to fix that just by making Tableau know that they're the same. I think this will work. If not, I might have to do some other trickery. Let's try that first. See how they're labeled this way. Tableau should figure it out, but still didn't work. Okay. All right, let's get serious. So let's change this. Date parse, I believe. So format, we'll choose day / month, or month, day.
God, Chris, I feel like I'm reliving a bad dream. There was one account we had to do this for. That was just a living hell.
Oh, single quotes. That's the case. Nope, doesn't like it. What did I do wrong? Date has been called with string date. So, okay. So we'll force them to be the same thing. It's kind of the thought. This one, operational field is not permitted. Okay. I guess it was written a little bit differently. I don't know why it's making me go through that. Okay. That should straighten everything up. Okay. Oops, wrong way. Dang it. All right. Well, anyway, if you could join on these dates, you would want to do it that way. Here, let me cheat one more other way. I'll really cheat. Book budget. All right. So this is how you know this is Tableau Live, because this is not smooth at all.
And that's the beauty. We want you to have the comfort to know that, hey, dates are hard in Tableau and it takes some time with it. The good news is Pauline's one of our students in some of our other classes that we have. So we know how to stay in touch with Pauline and get her the answers to this too, if we need to.
Hey, Chris, I don't know the answer to this, but does it matter if it's like a CSV file or a Excel file on how it holds its formatting? Like either way, you run into the same problem, right?
Yeah, it shouldn't matter. I think I created that one from scratch, and so I just didn't follow the same convention. So how table has this labeled is kind of, some way. So I'm just going to super cheat, because I'm basically going to use their exact thing. So this is definitely not. So this should be, what was our first date?
January 2016.
3rd, 2016. Come on. Hey. Too much going on.
Again, while Chris is working on this, if you have any questions, put them into the chat. We're happy to answer those for you. In the meantime, too, I'll be sure to pull up while Chris is working on that, how you can get to our YouTube channel as well, that has all of the recordings from our past sessions as well. So we've been doing this for a year now. So we have a lot of videos on there too that are answering specific questions, and they all have, when you come to each of the recordings, you'll see what topics have been covered in them as well. So let me pull that up too while Chris is doing that.
Okay, so that should give us that. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Rename. Budget. As. I'm just going to save it here.
And I just put in the YouTube link to the chat as well for this. And when you click on any of the videos and you look below them, there'll be, it will say in this video, this is what was covered. You'll see those and you can click on those links and it'll take you directly to that portion of the video if there's an area that you are interested in. So.
Okay. Hopefully the same format will make this possible. Okay, so remade the, if this doesn't work, I'm gonna try to go joins instead of relationship, but they should do the same thing. And actually, since it found it, that tells me that it probably should work. Before, remember, it didn't, I had to tell it which fields. So there was some weirdness going on there, but I expect this to work this time. God. I don't know why that's not working. Let me try the actual join. Yeah. So I don't know if you guys know that. So Tableau has, talk about relationships really quick. So Tableau has relationships now, which is, maybe a better way to describe it, but it's kind of like a kind of a blend on the fly a little bit. So it doesn't pre-join your data. It does it kind of as you need it. So the great thing about this is that if you were to join and that would blow up your data set by giving you a ton of rows, this is a great way to make that not do that. But we've seen some cases where relationships don't work and you have to go back to the old join methodology before this came out. And how you do that is you pull in your first field as a relationship. And if you double click on it, then now I can join those as you used to do. So you can tell you don't have the noodle anymore. You have the, you have your, you know, these pieces. So, and actually I need these to be the opposite order on this one. So I need, actually, you know what? I'm going to need, actually, I probably would need, because I need to date trunk these into that way, because this is only going to pull in the dates for that one. That may have been my problem anyway. So let's go. I'm just going to leave it like this and I'll go back and do something really quick. So, like, you know, I was just doing I was truncating these into one date because of that. But really my joint, hey, look at there. Never mind. It seemed to work. So
Surprise.
I was about to do some other things that I realized didn't need to. Okay. So yeah, so all we did, that was an example of where the relationship didn't work and you did have to join to make that happen. I really can't explain why. I just always try both if you get in there. So now I've got sales and budget. So then I would, you know, we could do a dual axis on this just to put those in one bar. Might be a good way to do it. Add reference line or not reference line, but synchronize the axis always. So they're at the same thing. And then we want sales on top of budget. And then we maybe want to, let's make the sales size a little bit smaller. It's not going on top. Oh, there we go. There you go. So you would be able to quickly see, okay, well, my actual sales is here and my budget is way out there, you know? So that kind of shows you that relationship. This one is way over. And then I would probably want to do a calculated field. That would be a percent to budget, percent of sales to budget. So then we would just do sum our budget divided by, get that backwards actually, sum of sales divided by sum of budget. This is something, have you guys covered any of this? We haven't covered any of our naming convention stuff, have we?
And we may have in an earlier one, but I think it's always good to talk about calculations and naming conventions and Tableau for any session. Yeah.
Let me finish with that and I'll come back to that in a second. So now I have my my field here. So I would make this another thing. So now I have a huge percentage, right? So now oh, it's not a percentage. I did it wrong. It is. I had it right the first time. Moving too fast. I'm not thinking through. Oh, I almost right. Which is so big. I got such a big outlier. I thought it wasn't right. Okay. So number format, percentage, maybe 1. Yeah. So this is, so you're only at 5.7% of budget. You're at 10% of budget. You're at 327% of budget, right? So that's just a quick way to do this.
Can you show that calculation again, Chris? That might be good for
Sorry,
people to see.
only,
okay, only one time, just in case people want to screenshot it.
you know,
That might be
I'll show
good.
real quick. So does this make sense though? Kind of what we're doing here and how that join worked. So there's the formula, but that should do it. Okay. And then the naming convention, like it's like, so a lot of times we fell into a trap of trying to name these fields and use them for labels and stuff. But the problem with that is, especially if you get calculations that are nested, it really becomes hard, or you get things that are very, very similar, right? The naming convention is actually similar to the next one. And so then I find myself having to really read the whole description of the calculation. So now what we do is we just put numbers in them, and it greatly helps. Like I'll show you on this one. This is one of the this is a public data set that the current version is up to 225 calculations that we've got, but it makes it really manageable, and so that anybody can quickly get back to what's being done just because of how we've got it worked out. So like, let's just go to any sheet, and of course, oh, there we go. So all of these are all listed out, and so I can quickly get to it. So if I go to any sheet and I want to make a change to a calculation, then there's no actually question what I have to do. Let's just go to the map. We're talking maps earlier. So I know that I'm using, well, this one doesn't have one, of course. It's going to be a, well, this doesn't either. Oh my goodness. I know these.
I know they got them in the parent companies and
I know they do.
technology.
So like, well, this is so old. We don't do this anymore.
Try the middle chart, the nameplate capacity.
No, this is off the old. This is not the most current. Let me just pull up the current one. I know we've fixed all this. Where are we at here? There we are. Yeah, we're only 216 versions on this one. So
Yeah, so just so you know, as Chris mentioned, this is a client who has this data set. We have permission to show this dashboard. It's published in Tableau Public as well. And this is a client called RMI, used to be called Rocky Mountain Institute, and they are an incredible nonprofit doing work around charting the path to decarbonization. So looking at how do we reduce carbon emissions in the world. And so looking at utility companies and the breakdown of the types of technologies that they're using. Yeah, now this one is labeled. That was an older version, Chris. Yeah, so we can start to see our naming convention. And it was this client's project that really helped us start to work through, because there were so many calculations and so many versions of this as we've been working with them over several months, that we needed to really start to have a naming convention that allows us to know which calculations are used within other calculations in Tableau. So that's what Chris is going to talk about now.
yeah. So like, for example, this is a good one. So this 201. So if I'm looking for 201, I can just type that in. Now I can not only see 201, but I see other actually, as we do it perfectly, 201. So now I can see 201, and I can also see that 201 was used in 202, it was used in 203, and it's used in 206. So if I make a change to 201, these are the other calcs that is gonna actually be impacted. So that helps me a lot, because knowing what you're nesting on is often a long process to go and find all those things. But this naming convention has saved us tons of time, because we can quickly tell you where everything is and what uses everything. Because really the name, like you see, these all names are very similar. Generation or capacity with a number sign, capacity with a percentage, or total, right? So those are all different calculations we're using for different purposes. But if I had to read generation or capacity, and know that it doesn't have a number sign on it, I actually may choose the wrong one, which is something happens a lot. So this naming convention is massive for us.
Great. All right. Thanks so much, Chris. And Pauline, I hope that got you to the answer that you were looking for with it. If not, just reach out to us. You know how to get to us. And any of you, if you ever do have questions, again, that questions form, boulderinsight.com/questions. That will get you to be able to get to us, and we'll do our best. That goes straight into a Slack channel that our entire team takes a look at. And if we'll try our best to answer it at the time that it comes in. And we often use those then for content in our Tableau Live sessions going forward. So one other question that comes up often, and I know Kev, we had talked to you about possibly showing this, is we know that it's about 40 to 45% of the time that people spend on trying to format their dashboards in order to make them look good, right? That you want this wow factor, you want it to be branded, and you want to make sure everything is aligned. And so what that means is that data analysts aren't doing analytics, they're doing all of this graphic designing and things. So we have over the years been really perfecting, we do have a website called Tableau Templates, but we're even beyond that website right now with the way that we're working with our clients. And so we have seen exponentially one of our clients that have gone through training with us and then has been doing coaching and mentoring with us. We've created this really amazing set of Tableau templates now that we have that has taken their learning and their ability to create dashboards that are consistent across the company, that are functional across the company, and allow them to understand human-centered design principles and UI, user interface, user experience principles to design their dashboards using the layouts that we've created. So I've asked Kev to come in today because this has come up in several of our client meetings over the years. And we really have something that we're super proud of and that we're using as a company ourselves. Kev decided to go away for a day this week. And lo and behold, we had a need for background images and things and no Kev to do it for us. So we were able to go straight to this resource, and it was a huge help for our team while Kev is not here. So if you can't have a Kev on your team, this is giving you Kev at your disposal in this. So I just thought this would be a great one to show. So Kev, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. That was kind of flattering, actually. So yeah, templates sound crazy. Can you really save time using them? And the answer is, of course, yes, you can. And right off the bat, I'd want to say one thing. When you have a template, like one, we build these, we think these are so helpful, not only for us, but for the clients, that every client we have now, we just build these templates out as part of the build. Like this is what you get moving forward so that you can have these. Because we're all about like empowering people. So we're like, oh my God, like what better way to do it? So right off the bat, you should look at it as kind of a resource center, right? So it does have layouts in it that you can drag and drop and do everything in it, but it also has things like colors in it. So just real quick, it's built like navigation. So in this template, there's a bunch of different layouts. We'll jump over to that page. So these are all preset layouts that we run into time and time again for clients. So we basically took our kind of our best 20, kind of like Tableau has, you know, their 20 colors, you know, that you can pick as a default. Same thing here. These are just design patterns we run into time and time again with dashboards. So everything's built. So instead of memorizing all the sheets and making it like, oh my God, how do I find that thing? You just kind of look at your thing. So I got 3 charts. I want to show it. So I'm going to pick this one. So this this template is ready to go. Just drag and drop your data into it. I'll just do a real quick one real quick. So the data is right in there. I'm going to hide that title. And right away, you can see it's look kind of your branding, kind of a way for everybody to use the same formatting principles. I'm going to back out of that. So the most powerful thing is really your layouts ready to go. Drag and drop your sheets into it. We took it a step further, like Heather said. We also have formatting. So I don't know if everybody knows this, but formatting is different based on your layout. So all the formatting, all the lines, all the things like that. And I'll just pull up an example real quick. That one. Here we go. So what we do at Boulder Insight is basically, if it doesn't help the data story, it hurts the data story, is kind of our battle cry, right? And Chris, how do I get the bottom back on this? I always forget.
Click on the pill and say show header on the pill itself. Yep. And then show header under format. You've got it. Yeah.
So this is what Tableau gives you out of the box. Well, if you've already got your number here and you got a visual relationship here, nobody needs this. Like no one's going, okay, what's happening here? Like it's just useless. So what we do is we hide things like that, right? And then we click over here and we change the formatting. These lines, no one, that doesn't help anybody, so it hurts. So you'll go in and painfully turn all this stuff off. Or the way we built it is actually you can use copy and paste formatting. So I'm just going to jump real quick to navigate to this, and I'm going to copy the formatting from here. Well, actually, I'm going to go dark. Well, let's go here. I'm going to copy formatting from here, and then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to do paste formatting, and all that's formatted for dark now. Like I don't.
Can you drag a template onto this dashboard?
Yeah, I'll do that next. So
Maybe
now,
so you show how it goes into the dashboard.
yeah, hang on. So with templates, so now I'm going to just pick a template. So I like this one. Well, dashboards don't have data attached to them. So you don't need to worry about like, oh, this is built off of Superstore or something like that. So all you got to do is copy this page, and then the file you're working in, just paste that page. So that dashboard is now in your workbook. So you don't destroy your original, you never have to adjust it, and you've got a fresh dashboard ready to go. So now all you've got to do is, I forget which one it was, Chris, this one here. So remember we just did the formatting and it's ready to go. Well, it's got the bottom somehow. Just like Chris, my demo's not going as planned.
Hold down shift to drop it in there because you're, yeah, there you go.
So the other thing I do, and this is like up to you, you don't have to do this, but I always hide the title from Tableau. And the reason is they just use too much space for that title relationship. So I gain extra real estate. Like if I had the Tableau title, it would be that much room. We've all been there where we're jamming so much data on there that you need that little extra room and it adds up. So I gain about an inch a page by building my own titles. Again, you don't have to. You can find your own way. But anyway, that's the concept. Like real quick, just be the ability to build out your dashboards, right? And the ability to basically, well, I got to copy formatting again.
Yeah, but if you already had them all in place, you could just go copy, paste,
Drag and drop real quick. But right there, you can just see how fast the formatting is, right? And then it's the name's out and you're off to the races.
Okay, but let's also show them the covers and the mods and things that you've worked on too. I think that's been a huge addition to those as well.
The other thing I'll say that really helps on this, and it helps to kind of give you give you kind of a box to live in. So Tableau out of the gate is this blank canvas, and if you haven't studied a lot of UI UX, you can get in trouble quickly because you're not thinking through it logically about how it could be. This gives you kind of a lane to swim in almost, where you're going to naturally put all your navigation on the left. That's kind of what we mean that left column to be. We already have all your KPIs set up at the top. They already got boxes for those. So it really makes it easy for you to know what to build because you can kind of already start to see where it's going to end up.
So that's spot on. So let's keep going. The other thing you can do is you can lock down your colors for your team, right? So you could give a dashboard to 3 different people. They've got 3 different color preferences, right? Well, you know, we've got the brand colors listed out, and I always say don't put the brand colors in the data story. Keep those in your background, or you may have a use case for them, but don't use them as your primary like data colors. But here we went ahead and wrote out all the colors that is our basic starter color pack. So if someone on our team is designing a dashboard and they go, well, what color palette? Well, we want you to use the big data color palette. So what's cool about this, and I'm just going to do this real quick because I don't know if anybody knows it. You can copy and paste this, right? So just command copy on that, and then go to your Tableau preference folder. So on a Mac, it's in Documents, My Tableau. I'm going to open it in Sublime Text, which is a word editor. You can copy and paste this in here. So it's already pasted here. but just paste it into your preference and save it. And then when I go into my Tableau book and I want to change a color, it's actually listed here. So big is a Boulder Insight Group, right? So the big brand colors, the big data colors, and then we have things we do for building out projects called stages. So all that's in here for anybody on our team, and all they got to do is copy and paste that in. So there's a way to customize color palettes, and that's built into the template build. So that's why I say it's healthy if you look at this as kind of a data resource. The other thing we've done is like shown you how to get more out of these templates, right? Like you can't design to every instance you need. So you can build a cover, and it sounds dumb, but all these little things add up. So somebody might say, I need the bottom to be white here. Well, we show you that you can just drag on a blank element, you know, and then change the color of it to whatever you need. You could have it match the background if you wanted. In this case, I'll just do white. And then boom, you know what I mean? Like I've just added some functionality to this template and expanded the look and feel. Like in this case, picture like a donut chart over here, some bar charts up here, and then down here's that beautiful Excel format that everybody seems to like, where it's just like kind of a detailed view of the close-up of the data. Usually plays really well on the right. So the covers kind of help you extend functionality. Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, I was just
You messing with me?
Yeah, I was kind of mocking the crosstab. I was saying it was my favorite.
Oh, I know. It never fails. The last one are these things called mods, and mods are basically designed to give you more functionalities. And what mods are, they're just an image. You just drag them in, click an image, and then put it in here. And that would be if you needed additional KPIs, or you had a different color story you kind of wanted to do, or kind of wanted to jazz it up. I mean, kind of to Clay's point earlier, it's like some people really, really, really want high-end designed experiences, and this kind of empowers you to do that, right? So that's kind of the deal, and that's kind of what we're doing with templates. And if you guys have any questions on that, you know, please reach out. But
And I think this is obvious, but I mean, what we do, this is ours that we use internally. So if we would to build one for you guys, we would use your brand colors. We probably would end up coming up with some additional colors for you, because typically what we see is if anybody that even has kind of this style guide, they haven't used it in this whole visualization world. So the colors are really built for like advertising and for websites, and you need different things for this type of it. So we can help you come up with those. We'll try to stay as close to your brand colors as we can. As far as and then on the data story colors, we use your brand's what is it, like hue and saturation, Kevin, and then try to have data story colors that work with those, so you don't end up with really bright brand colors and dull data story colors. We try to match them as much as we can, and also think about, okay, well, if your background is going to be blue, then we're going to use this type of a color or this type of hue and saturation, versus if your background is like a gray, it might be a little different. But that's some of the stuff we do, and you would get a full template that's branded for you and your company. That way you and everybody on your team can be consistent out of the box.
I'd say the biggest thing that helped out with our team is the alignment, right? Sounds silly, but it happens. Making sure everybody's using the same size, you know, for the title of a dashboard. Like, it happens. Like, you know, it's been really helpful to align the team. And also, I'd say it's been a really helpful way to edit ourselves, right? It's really easy to add thousands and thousands of views. And in this, it's kind of a focusing exercise. It's like, how many views do we need to tell the story, right? We don't need 25. We probably need 4. You know, we probably need 6. So it's been really helpful for us to edit and really make more impactful dashboards too. So.
Well, thank you so much, Kev, for that. That is awesome. We are at time, but I want to make sure you know how to keep in touch with us. So you can find us at boulderinsight.com. And if you want to schedule time with Chris to help you with things, you can go to anywhere on our pages. You'll see Ask a Tableau Mentor. This will take you directly to Calendly. So you can get a free project consultation with us through that. If you know you have a bigger problem and you need an hour or 30 minutes or 2 hours, those are paid times that you can get together with us. You also always have this questions form. So reach out to us anytime. We truly are committed to accelerating your Tableau learning and making sure that we are your TFFs and that you can reach out to us when you need support and you're struggling with it. And then you'll also notice that here are our Tableau templates. We are improving these, and this is just some of the free-ish ones. These are 99 cents. So if you want to test out a template, you would be able to purchase this and download it. We have some other ones that have more than one layout. The free ones have one layout as well. And so these layouts will give you 12 different layouts that you can use, and you could practice with that if you'd like. Or if you want a custom one, reach out to us and we'd be happy to create what Kev showed you as well today. So join us next time. This is it for June. We'll have our July one. We'll be working around the 4th of July holiday. So just, keep in touch with us. You'll see us sending emails out. Once you've registered, you'll continue to receive those from us. We'll also have it on our LinkedIn pages and things as well. So I believe we will be doing it the first Friday of July, but I think it's actually going to be the second Friday of July, actually looking at the holiday weekend. So it'll probably be that second Friday. So looking forward to seeing you all. Thank you for joining us. That is it for the Boulder Insight Tableau live session today. So we wish you all the best and keep in touch. Take care, everybody.
Yes.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.